Hey, welcome back. I'm really excited for today's video. I just wanted to encourage you to sign up for the Facebook group. Oh, also grab a block if you don't have one already. We're using a block today. So sign up for the Facebook group, and I'd love to hear your questions, comments about today's video. Let me know how you're enjoying the conscious movement community, and also suggestions. I'd love to hear from you. So please sign up for that and shoot me a comment about today's video. So start off on your back with the soles of the feet together and the arms at your side. Oh, and last thing, I'd appreciate help in spreading the word about the conscious movement community. So if you could share on Facebook, Instagram, if you're enjoying the videos, I'd be stoked. Cool. Okay. Back to the yoga. So just get a few moments here. Give yourself a few moments to get grounded. And we do that by anchoring ourselves in the body. So often we'll get pulled around by the thoughts, by the content of the mind, trying to solve problems. So just anchor yourself in the body by feeling the breath and the sensation of the breath. Then stretch your arms up, hook your thumbs, and slowly let your arms start to fall back. Pause halfway. Now notice the tendency for your rib cage to want to tip up with your arms. Instead, breathe space into the back of the rib cage so it opens up along the floor, and then let the arms fall back a little further. Now bring your arms back up, change the hook of the thumbs, and slowly let your arms start to fall back again. Again, as the arms fall back, now this time try not to let the back ribs narrow. Flood your body with consciousness, especially into the back body there. We tend to be less aware of what's going on in the back body. Feel the stretch for your hips. Then bring your arms back up. One more time, hook the thumbs the other way, and slowly let your arms start to fall back, without the thoracic cavity or the rib cage moving at all. Just a stretch from the shoulders. Keep the lower back long, neck long, upper chest open. Make sure your inner blades aren't crowding around your ears. Bring your arms back up. Then bring your knees together and hug your right knee into your chest. Slowly, without crushing your lower back into the floor, stretch your left leg out along the floor. And then you can move your right big toe around in circles to kind of warm up your ankle. Move it in circles the other direction. Then change legs. Hug your left knee into your chest. And stretch your right leg out along the floor. And then you can move your left big toe in circles, smooth big circles. Move in circles in the other direction. Then bring your legs up into tabletop position and open up your arms like cactus arms at your side. So feel your spine get longer, like it's getting pulled in traction, and also feel your collarbones spread towards your elbows. Then move your big toes, both big toes around in circles without any movement in your trunk and your torso at all. Move them in the other direction. And then slowly start to wiggle your knees around in different directions. But watch how in my middle, there's no movement at all. Don't let your hips move at all. Pretend like you had hot cups of coffee balancing on your front hip bones. And it's like that really hot coffee that burned that lady at McDonald's when I was a kid. Very hot coffee. Okay, bring the legs back to center. Stretch the leg forward, right leg. Rebend. Stretch the left leg forward. Rebend, and still no movement at all in the middle. So this makes sure that you're using your core muscles. Slowly change sides. A long spine is a strong core. Slowly change sides. Extend the leg and lower it. See if you can go a little bit further each round. Keep going from side to side. Keep the upper chest open. Feel that the neck is long, like you're getting pulled from the crown of your head. Now take the arms up, both knees up, and we'll do opposite arm leg stretch. As the left leg goes forward, reach the right arm back. Come back up. Change sides. Don't let your lower belly lift at all. Keep the lower back long. Back up. Change sides. Back up. Change sides. Back up, change sides, back up, change sides, back up. Then put your hands behind your head and curl up to your knees. Ooh, feel the abs turn on. Look at all those ab muscles. Squeeze the side ribs in and down. Pull your lower belly in. Now twist to your right knee and stretch your left leg forward. Come back to center. Change sides. Twist to your left. Back to center. Twist to your right. Back to center. Twist to your left. Back to center. Keep going now, side to side. Now skip this. Oh, good. Then come back to center. Thank God that's over. Drop your feet down. Inhale, let your lower back arch. And exhale, flatten. Inhale, let the lower back arch, the chin drop towards the chest. And exhale, flatten through your lower back. Then come into neutral with your spine. Again, take your feet the width of the mat and let your knees twist over to the right as you look to your left. The stretch feels so good, especially after doing the abs. Legs back to center and over to the left. Back to center. Bring your legs back up into tabletop. It's not quite over yet. As you inhale, let the knees go over to the right, just a quarter of the way, and then exhale back to center. More about control, less about how far you can go. Over to the left, a quarter of the way without the right shoulder lifting at all. Exhale back to center. Inhale over to the right, maybe a little bit more than a quarter of the way without the left shoulder lifting. Back to center. Inhale to the left. So this is great to work your obliques, to stimulate your digestion. Inhale to the right. Exhale to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale to center. Inhale to the right. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale back to center. Then curl up to your knees, arms forward, stretch your right leg forward, but pull your right side lower belly in as the right leg goes forward. Stay curled up off your shoulders, change legs. Change legs. And then stretch both legs forward, straight out in front of you, open up across the toe mounds, knees straight. Curl up 1 more inch, and then bend your knees, lower yourself down, roll yourself up to seated, and stretch back, downward facing dog. Then set your knees down and stretch back into child's pose. Let the hips release back towards the heels. Let your head start to drop. Open up your hands even into the mat. But feel that you don't just let your shoulders crowd into your ears. Roll the inner arms to the outer arms so there's space across the back of the neck. Then come up onto your hands and your knees. Curl your toes under, stretch back into down dog. Bend the knees, draw the thighs, hips up and away from the wrists, and then stretch the right leg towards straight without the butt tucking under. Change legs, stretch the left leg towards straight without the buns tucking under. Change legs. This one feels really good on my calves. I love this stretch. Change sides. They get so tight. All right. Then come into plank position. Hold there in your plank. Root down through your big toe mound, second toe mound, inner thighs up, quads of steel. Tighten the quads and feel your low abs turn on. Get as long as you can. So you don't want to be hunched over and strengthening that type of posture. So keep that and see if you can lift your left leg an inch without tucking, without rounding. Stay long, and without twisting, change sides. Lift the right leg an inch. So this is actually really good for your back muscle. It helps with your posture. Change sides, one more round, and then bring the left knee up without rounding. Change legs. Right leg, and then bring it up without rounding. So you're holding the spine long. Okay, then stretch that leg back, set your knees down. Thank God that's over. It was so hard. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Point your toes back. And bend your knees, point your feet up towards the sky, ceiling, and lift your arms up. So this is one of my favorite exercises to help with your posture muscles, to help to train your back muscles. So the arms are up, rotate the arms externally, then stretch the arms forward and straighten the legs. Press the tops of the feet down, engage the quads. Bend the elbows back again, open your chest. Inhale the arms forward, get longer. Exhale, bend the elbows back again, chest open. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, bend the elbows back again, chest open, hold there. Then arms straight back. Keep getting longer. Less about how high up you can come, more about the length, because that's going to help to work your back even better. Feel the back muscles turn on so the chest is open. And then place the hands underneath your elbows. Roll into upward facing dog, your first up dog, but don't let the chest close. Keep the back working. Then stretch back to down dog. So most of the time those muscles, they stay turned off. Okay, so now let's come into a modified pigeon stretch. Bring your right knee up towards your right thumb and stretch your left leg back. And so when we start, before we even back bend, I always like to turn on those back muscles to help with our posture, help to open up the chest, because they're mostly turned off because of all the sitting with the hunched shoulders. So here, as you roll your chest open, feel how the back muscles turn on below your shoulder blades, your lats. They have to help to open up your chest some. Change sides. Bring the left knee up to the left thumb. And then you can kind of like curl the right toes under to stretch the leg. And then when you feel like you stretch the leg back as far as you can point the toes back. Okay, so at first my chest is sinking, and then let's see if I can start to roll the chest through and turn on the back some. Oh yeah, as I feel the front of the hip open, but it's really tight in the front of the hip. So as you breathe through the front of the hip, you'll be able to roll the chest open more, and you can turn the back on even more. And then curl your toes under, stretch back. And then walk your feet forward, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale, Ardha, make a flat back. And exhale, fold forward. Shift your hips forward over the heels. You can bend the knees if you need to. And then slowly roll yourself up. Head and neck, last thing to come up, stand tall up over your ankles. I like this lady's get up over here. She's staying well protected from the sun. All right, so stand up tall over your ankles. And as you open up through the soles of your feet, feel your toes stretch. Open up into the body. Then inhale, raise your arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, make a flat back, elongate your spine, give yourself time to get the full in-breath. Exhale, step back, plank. And slowly stretch back to downward facing dog. Then walk your feet forward. Inhale, flat back, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms up. Exhale, arms to your side, Samastiti. Inhale, raise the arms up. Look up and touch the palms together as long as it doesn't crunch your neck. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Give yourself time to breathe fully. Exhale, slow the breath down as you step back into plank pose. And lower slowly, chaturanga. Inhale into cobra. Now I'm showing a little modified vinyasa for this first one. The chaturanga had knees down, the low cobra instead of up dog first to help to open the chest, and then roll into up dog without closing the chest. You can see how I pause to kind of make sure, and then stretch back to downward facing dog. So you shouldn't try to jam yourself into your deepest up dog as you're warming up. Just give yourself time. Take low cobras, do chaturanga with knees down, and make sure you're keeping the shoulder girdle open. Walk your feet forward. Inhale, flat back, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Raise your arms up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, elongate, feel the full length of the breath, help you to lengthen the spine. Exhale with control, step back and lower slow, chaturanga. I'm doing it with the knees down to help to keep the chest open, but you can do the full thing if you're good at it. Inhale into cobra. Feel the chest open and the back turn on to open the chest. Roll into up dog. And stretch back, downward dog. Then step your right foot up by your right thumb. Lower your left knee down. Bring your right hand to your right knee and inhale, raise your left arm up. Feel the stretch through the front of your left hip down into your knee, reach down through the shin. At the same time, lift through the front of the pelvis up past your pinky. Then bring your left hand down, lift your back knee up, lengthen your spine, turn your chest, and take your right arm up. Bring your hand down, stretch back, downward facing dog. Then shift into plank, pull your knee up, step your left foot all the way up by your left thumb, and lower your back knee down. Bring your left hand to your knee. Inhale, slowly start to come up. And stretch down through the front of your right hip, down through your knee, as you extract length through the front of your pelvis, up through your pinky. Give it time to open up. It gets really tight in there, and it'll prevent your back bending. Then bring your hand down, plant it under your shoulder, curl your back toes, lift your back knee up. Turn your chest as you lengthen and take your left arm up, but fully lengthen out through the midline. Try not to let your back round over, even if you have to put a block underneath your hand. Then bring your hand down, stretch back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold forward, let all the air out. Just let your head drop now. sit back into chair pose and raise your arms up. Let's actually just take the arms forward. Now feel the weight come back into your heels. Let the thigh bones descend, get low in your chair, then take your arms up and feel as the thighs and the hips release back, you're lifting from the sides of your ribs up to your arms. Then come all the way up to stand, drop your arms at your side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, come back into chair pose. Lift the chest as the hips descend. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step or float back, chaturanga. Ooh, float back. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. You can skip the cobra if you feel ready to go right into the up dog. And exhale, stretch back to downward facing dog. Slow, controlled movement to help the body to open up. Step your right foot up by your right thumb. Turn your back heel, but keep your right hip in as you turn the back heel down and come up into your first warrior one. Reach through your heel, stretch from the front of the pelvis, get the same length you're doing in the low lunge. Then bring your hands down. Step back, plank. Glide back slow with control. When you move slow, you're using all these muscles you wouldn't normally use. Shift into plank, pull your left knee up and step your foot, turn your back heel. And as you inhale, come up, warrior one. Grow the back leg longer from the hip like we practiced in the lunge. Bring your hands down to the mat. Step back, plank, chest open. And slowly back to downward facing dog. As you hold in your down dog, reconnect into the hands, turn the triceps down. Now look forward, step or float to the front of your mat. And inhale, make a flat back, elongate. Exhale, fold forward, all the air out. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, bend your knees and sit back. Exhale, arms at your side, Samastiti. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Plant your hands, step or float back, and lower to chaturanga. You can lie on your belly and do the cobra with me, or go right into up dog. I'm really digging this cobra right now. Then roll up into up dog from the cobra. I feel like it really sets you up for a nice back bend. Glide back, downward facing dog. Step your right foot up by your right thumb. Turn your back heel. Inhale, raise your arms up. Vira one. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Step back, strong in your plank, lengthen, glide back, keeping your chest open. Step your left foot, let's keep flowing. Turn the back heel and inhale, reach up. Bring your hands back down. Step back, lengthen in your plank, strong abs, strong core. Glide back to down dog, keeping the length of your spine. Now you can always modify by bending the knees if you feel that your hamstrings are too tight to allow it. You can see how much mine are stretching to keep the length of the spine. Wow, look at that. Bend the knees and look forward. Walk, step, or hop up to the top. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, bend your knees, sit back. Come all the way up to stand. All right, now separate your feet, hip socket distance apart, tip from your pelvis, and fold forward. Hook your big toes, and as you inhale, drag your chest forward, elongate through the front of the spine. Exhale, fold deeper. Bend the elbows out to the side and just let your head start to drop. Feel the weight of the back of the skull. Inhale, make a flat back again, and then slide your hands underneath your feet so that the toes come all the way to the back of the wrists. You might have to bend the knees a little bit or a lot of bit to do that. That's okay. We're focusing on the stretch for the arms, for the wrists, for the forearms that come to this. If you can start to work the legs straight, go ahead. Then inhale, make a flat back again. Come all the way up to stand. Oh, actually, if you'd like blocks for your standing poses, set up blocks at the back of your mat now. Step your right foot back about 4 feet and spread your arms out at the sides. Turn the left leg in slightly, turn the right leg out 90 degrees, and then bend your knee and make sure that your center ankle, center right knee, and center right hip, they're all on a track aligned with each other. Grow tall up over your pelvis and feel your chest open through the reach of your arms. Then bring your right forearm onto your right thigh or reach for the block and put the hand down onto the outside of the foot on the block. Then elongate through your back leg, and then instead of hanging over your right leg, pull your spine up through the line of your back leg. So I could actually take my left leg back a little further to get the true line in this pose, but you want to feel that your spine, your back leg, and your top arm, they're all working a long line of energy. That's why this pose is called side angle. That's the angle that you're making. Uttita Parsvakonasana. Then inhale, come back up. Turn your feet to the other side. Bend your left knee. And keep your chest open as you're bending your knee. So the deeper you go into this, the more your spine wants to shrink. My hips are pretty tight right now, so I'm staying pretty tall so that I don't sink in my low back. Tip from your pelvis. Put your hand down. If your hips are more open though, by all means, you can go deeper. Feel your spine lengthen and stretch your right arm all the way over. Feel your breath again. So your body loves the conscious energy. Flood your body with consciousness. It's very healing, very therapeutic. Especially the areas that feel like they feel blocked, not as open. Breathe right into there. And come back up. Then step your legs together. Stand tall in mountain. Separate your legs wide apart again. And turn your legs to the right. Tip from your pelvis out over your straight right leg. And place your hand onto the block. Chest open. Raise your left arm up. Oh, and if you can go lower than the block, that's fine too. Then bend your right knee. Slide your hand or block a foot in front of your pinky toe. And with control, keeping the side angle length without rounding over, step up. Track your right hip right over top of your ankle, and then firm your right outer hip in so that you can elongate the spine better. From the strength of the glute med, you'll be able to fire the spinal muscles. Then raise the left heel an inch above your pelvis and feel that same side angle line. We're going to keep recreating that. bend your right knee, and as smooth as you can, start to slide back, come into triangle pose. Open up in your triangle. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper now. And then press through your feet, come back up. Nice. Turn your feet to the other side. Tip from your pelvis. I use hands on the pelvis so I could feel it move instead of borrowing from the spine and rounding over. Then place your hand down. Open your chest. Turn and take your right arm up. Open up through your feet. Feel the four corners of the feet descend, the soles of the feet spread. Now bend your knee, and as smooth as you can, slide your hand a foot in front of your pinky toe and step up, keeping the left hip on a track with the left ankle so you can see how I go slow to make sure I have that track, that line. Then start to raise your back leg up so it comes up an inch above your pelvis so it'll get the line. Feel your spine lengthen through the line of the back leg. Then turn the chest and start to open. So actually, if you look in Light on Yoga, the classic pose is with the hand on the hip. You can take your arm up if you like, but hand on the hip helps to keep you connected to the line of the back leg. Then bend your left knee and as smooth as you can, slide back into triangle. Open up big in your triangle pose. Maybe you can go deeper. Press down through your feet. Inhale, come up. And then bring your hands behind your back, interlock your hands, or just rest your hands on your sacrum, and then start to fold forward. So first priority is to draw the blades onto the back and away from the ears. Then you could see if you can straighten the elbows. If your blades sneak up into your neck when you do that, you can just keep your thumbs on your sacrum like I'm showing. But if you're very mobile, then you can straighten your arms. Change the interlock of the hands. Maybe try to straighten the arms as long as you don't lose the shoulder blades. Then set your fingertips down onto the floor. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, start to fold deeper. Walk your hands back. And let the crown of the head start to release towards the floor. Then bend from your knees, come all the way up to stand, and step up to the top of your mat. Stand up tall in mountain pose, and I've moved the blocks up to the front of the mat now. If you're very mobile, you won't need the blocks, but inhale, raise your arms up, look up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back, elongate your spine. Step back, downward facing dog. From down dog, bring your right knee up, step your foot up by your right thumb, lower your back knee down. Bring your right hand onto your right knee, inhale, come up, just like we practiced before the bees. Raise your arm, stretch down through your left shin, get all that space and length. Then start to twist. Turn your left chest towards your knee, hook your tricep elbow. Then join your palms together. So feel your body start to open up into the twist. Feel where there's any inner resistance and see if you can give it up while still expanding. Then bring your hands back down to the mat, curl your back toes under, and step back, downward facing dog. Step your left foot up by your left thumb. Lower your back knee down. Inhale, start to upright yourself. Lift from your belly. Raise your right arm up. Get all the space and length again through the front of the hip. Then hook your elbow. Once you get the elbow to hook, lift up again from the front of the pelvis again and find the length that you lost. Palms together. Then bring your hands back down to the mat. Curl your back toes, lift your back knee, and stretch back to downward facing dog. Then walk your feet forward. Take your feet outer hips distance apart. Squat down. Slowly let your hips lower towards your heels and bring your palms together. Feel the heel bones descend. Release from the groins towards the inner knees, and then feel the lift from the belly up through the front of the spine. Bring your hands back down, straighten your legs, and fold forward. Then with your feet together, lower your buttocks back down onto your heels again, knees wide apart. If you can keep the heels down, this is really good to help with the dorsiflexion of your ankles. And it will also help to open up your spine for all the arm balances. Now see if you can walk your hands further forward and sit your hips further back, and then lift the heels up a little bit, turn the palms up and hook the triceps back into the shins. So this is the preparation for crow pose. Feel the back body open, feel the blades set on the back, spread your collarbones. Now start to lift yourself up from the lift of the pelvic floor and the belly, come up onto the toes, and start to balance yourself over your hands. So feel your balance point first and then see if you can lift the feet up. And it should come from the pelvic floor low abs instead of from your neck and shoulders. Set your feet down and fold forward. Then slowly come back up to stand, roll yourself up. Step your left foot back about 3.5 feet. Then start to tip forward out over your straight right leg. So here's where I like to use blocks to help to get the hamstrings. Mine are super tight. But if you're pretty flexible, you could come onto the fingertips like that. What you're looking for is the spine to lengthen. And then as you exhale, start to fold forward all the way out over your leg. Then inhale, make a flat back. Step your back leg forward and lift it up. Come into a modified warrior 3. Then come up onto blocks if you have them. If not, you could just do fingertips like I was showing. And see if you can stretch one arm back without rounding your spine, maybe both arms back. Then, am I going to lift that leg up or what? Start to lift your back leg up to hip height. Oh, it might take a little time. Feel that you're lengthening your Tadasana line and then come all the way up to stand from there. Good job. Mountain pose. Then bring your right knee up. Reach down onto the inside of your right knee and take your right big toe. Stand tall up over your left ankle. Recreate mountain pose And then see if you can straighten your right leg, stretch your big toe out in front of you without sinking. Still stay tall up over the left ankle. You can see the left thigh wants to come forward. Keep drawing it up and back as you stretch that right leg. Now open your leg to the side, but still maintain your mountain over your left ankle. Bring your leg back to center, bend your knee, and cross your right ankle just above your left knee. Bring your hands to prayer as you stand tall. And then start to sit back as if you're sitting in a chair pose. If you can sit the butt all the way back so that the elbows touch the shins, cool. Get the elbows to touch the shins, and then start to drag your chest forward. Then put your fingertips down and fold forward if you'd like to go deeper. If just to get the elbows to the shins is a lot of work, just hang out there. Then come all the way up to stand. Mountain pose. Step your right foot back about 3.5 feet. Tip from your pelvis. Start to fold forward. Put the hands onto the block. Start to fingertips down and elongate your spine. Then start to fold forward all the way out over your leg. Keep opening up the feet. So there's a connection between the feet, obviously, and the legs. So as you open the feet better, it's going to help the hamstrings to stretch because of the back body line. So feel the feet open, the connection down into the four corners of the feet, and keep plugging the thighs up to stretch the back leg longer. Now come up onto your fingertips and start to walk the hands forward, lengthen, and then raise the back leg up to hip height. You can come up onto blocks and then maybe stretch one arm back behind you, level the hips, and maybe both arms back. Feel the long line from your back ankle all the way out to the crown of your head. There it is. And then come up to stand with control. Bring your left knee up. Reach down onto the inside of your knee and take your big toe. Stand tall up over your right ankle. Then start to straighten your leg. But you can see the longer you stretch the left leg, the more the body will want to shrink. So stay tall up to your right ankle as you stretch that left leg towards straight. If it doesn't get all the way straight, no worries. Now open the leg to the side. And if your balance is good, try looking over to the right. Then bring your leg back to center. Stay tall. Bend your knee and cross your ankle just above your right knee. Hands to prayer. Start to sit back like you're sitting in a chair pose. And if possible, hook the elbows to the shin. If you'd like to go deeper, make it even with the other side. Start to fold. And then come back up to stand. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back to downward facing dog. Set your left knee down onto the mat and open up into side plank with the left knee down. So we'll start with the knee down to help to get everything to open up. Remember, we're working on opening up the energy channels here. So as you open up and improve your posture, then maybe you could stretch your left leg out behind your right. But if you feel that your upper back rounds, your head hangs forward, it'd be better to keep the knee down, work on strengthening the arm like that. Feel the long line from the Tadasana line from your ankles to your hips, to your shoulders, to your ears. Then come back down, set the right knee, right hand down. Take the left arm up. Feel like your back's up against the wall, open up. Then you can hold there, or maybe extend your right leg out behind your left as long as everything doesn't hunch over. Keep opening up as you strengthen your shoulder. Then bring your hands back down, knees back down. Set your elbows down onto the mat. And then one leg at a time, step back into plank on your forearms. Here we go. Squeeze the back of the armpit in and down, but then spread the chest and pull yourself even longer, like you're reaching your head out of your turtle shell. Get length. And then slowly set the hips down, open up to the front of the spine. Then come up onto your knees again. And with your chest open, maybe you can even take a block in between your hands if your hands tend to sneak in towards each other, or you can just, fake it. Then reach the forearms down and lift your knees, lift your hips up. Hold that stretch, or set the knees down and come into Shirshasana. Place the crown of the head on the floor, back of the head against the thumbs. Lift your hips up, walk your feet in. Hips come up over the shoulders, then knees come in. Then heels to buttock, knees up towards ceiling. And then legs go all the way up. Keep reaching down to through your forearms and creating space through your neck. You shouldn't feel like there's any sinking in your neck at all. If it feels like you're dropping into your neck, just come back down until you build strength in your upper body and your arms to be able to create space for the neck as you hold. Look for your Tadasana line. Then bend the knees and slowly with control, lower yourself back down. Take child's pose with the arms back, head down, knees close together. Balasana. Then from here, we're going to come into low lunge. So step your left foot up in between your hands, and I'm going to use blocks because of the earlier mentioned very tight hips. Then if possible, bend your right knee and reach back with your left hand for your foot or your ankle. Then release that foot. Bring your hips back over top of your right knee for half splits. Wiggle your front foot forward. And we'll start with the foot plantar flexed. Stretch the toes down towards the floor, and this is really good to help to open up the top of the ankle, front of the ankle. And then dorsiflex your foot. Pull the toes back towards you. And you might want to slide the heel a little more forward to get the stretch with the dorsiflex foot. All right, release that and change sides. Right foot forward, reach back with your hand for your foot or your ankle. And then release that. Come into half splits. Bring the hips back over top of your left knee. Wiggle your right foot forward till the leg is straight, or straight-ish, as straight as you can get while reaching the toes down. Now grow your spine longer. Lift up from your belly to your chest. Feel the sit bones start to reach back. Then from here, wiggle the foot a little more forward. Pull the toes back towards you. Breathe into the back of the leg. Now open up through your right big toe mound like it's reaching into a gas pedal. But at the same time, draw from there up the inseam of your leg back into your hip socket. Then release that. And let's come into Virasana now. So knees close together, maybe an inch or two apart. You can massage the crease of the back of the knee to help the knee to release as you go to sit back to create more space for the ligaments. And then you can also smooth the calf muscle down. Now, if it's just too much to sit like this, then you could just sit cross-legged instead, or you could put more stuff underneath your butt so it feels appropriate for the knees. Remember, we're creating health in the body, so you shouldn't go to a place where it feels like you're jamming your knees. Then sit up tall. And from here, if you'd like to go deeper, then walk the hands back a foot behind you. And then start to roll your shoulders back and open up your chest. Then lift the hips and stretch through the front of your pelvis down into your knees and from the front of your pelvis up into your chest. Open up from there, lengthen through the tailbone towards the knees, and slowly lower your buttocks back down. Good, then stand up onto the knees, bring the hands to prayer position, and we'll practice dropping for camel. So as you inhale, lean yourself back, and as you exhale, come back up. Inhale to lean back, exhale back up. Inhale to lean back, chest stays open, exhale back up. And then roll the chest open and maybe reach the hands back to the heels. But for me, it's a little gnarly on the back, so I'll just practice this one. The preparation, roll the chest open to the ceiling. And then come back up and sit back into Virasana again. All right, now from here we'll go into Bharavajrasana. Take your feet over to the right and twist to your left. Come back to center. Take the feet over to the left and twist to your right. Come back to center and take your legs wide apart now. Upavista Konasana. Sit up tall, open up through the backs of the legs to the four corners of your feet, and then start to tip forward. Inhale, come back up, and bring your left heel in to Janu Shirshasana. Bring the heel towards the pubic bone. Turn to face your right leg and start to fold forward over your right leg. Inhale, come back up. Change sides. Take the left leg wide. Bring the right heel in. Sit up tall as you turn to face your left leg. And then stretch your right thigh down and away from you as you start to lengthen out over the left leg. Inhale, come back up. Then bring your legs into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees wide apart. Grow tall up over the sit bones. All right, then from here, let's come into, what's this one called again? Let's cross a Gomukhasana legs. Cross the right knee over your left knee. But if it's too difficult to get the knees to cross like this, you could slide a block underneath your butt. That'll help if the hips are really tight. So start to cross your knees and open up across your chest. Then take your right hand onto your lower back and left arm from above. Okay, now I got these super tight shoulders, so my hands aren't anywhere close to binding. But wherever your hands are, if they're bound or if they're not bound, pretend like you're pulling them apart, like you had a rope in between your hands and you're pulling in opposite directions. Then release that and start to fold forward out over your legs. If it's too difficult to fold forward over your crossed knees, then you could just sit with like simple cross legs instead and work that one until your hips get more open. Inhale, come back up. Change the cross of the legs. Then take your left hand onto your lower back and your right arm from above. Stretch the hands towards each other without closing your chest or letting your head fall forward. Then start to pull the arms apart, feeling like you had a rope in between your hands and you're pulling. And then release that, start to fold forward. Inhale, come back up. Check your hands for splinters after the dock. Okay, then cross the legs so that the right ankle hooks right to the outside of the left knee, just like that. But if it's too much, you could just do a simple cross legs fold again. From here, lean the forearms onto the shin to help the hips start to open. And then maybe even go deeper. And for this one, I really like the forehead on a block. Inhale, come back up. Change the cross of your legs and start to fold forward. Then inhale, come back up and stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Then start to fold forward out over your legs. Now, as you're going to fold forward, you might feel that some parts of your spine are trying to resist the movement. Instead of jamming, just back off a little bit and allow the feeling like the whole back of the spine is moving forward and down evenly. Even if you don't go very far forward, that's okay. You can also bend the knees a little bit to help. Then inhale, come back up. And then we'll take a seated meditation pose, whether it's lotus, half lotus, or just sitting with your legs crossed. Rest your hands with the palms facing up. Take a slow, steady breath in through your nose. Fill your lungs from the bottom all the way up to the top. Pause. And let the breath out just a third of the way. Pause. Let it out another third of the way. Pause. Let all the air out. Again, slow, steady breath in through the nose. Let a third of the breath out. Pause. Let another third out. Pause. Let the rest of the breath out. Then lie down onto your back. Take a little happy baby after the Viloma Pranayama. This comes from, often get suggestions. Hey, someone commented, how come you never do happy baby? I was like, you're right. I haven't been doing happy baby right. So I encourage you to comment on our Facebook group For the conscious movement community, if there's any poses that you've been missing, you want to know about, then leave them there. I'll try to shed some light on them. Okay, so for the happy baby, you're just trying to grab your feet while letting your hips release back and down, like your hips are getting pulled in traction. Now into corpse pose. Just let the body drop into the mat. So when we practice, we're this like dance against resisting gravity, the balance of effort and ease. But when you go into Shavasana, give up completely. Let go, let gravity win now. Completely surrender. And then when you're still, I've noticed that that's when we go right back into the mind, into the monkey mind, jumping from branch to branch, trying to solve the problems that the mind created for itself. So instead of getting into all that, we'll just spend the next few minutes here being present. And we'll do that by anchoring ourselves inward. So you can let the sounds that you're hearing, whether it's my voice, pass in through one ear and out through the other without focusing on them. That's one way to help to anchor you in. Let the thoughts come and go. Let the sounds come and go. And make the main event watching the flow of energy in your body. You can feel, like you could feel where your hands are in space right now. You're much more connected to the feeling in the body. So flood your entire body with consciousness. And just notice the inner stillness, the inner peace that you feel while you're doing this. Then start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Take a fuller, deeper breath in and out through your nose. Gently bend your knees and roll over to your side. Press yourself up to seated. Join your palms together. So just sit for a moment. Notice the effects of your practice. Then lower your head to your heart. Lift your head, open your eyes. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.